Okay, so uh, here we are with another GI Joe declassified. Or, I don't say declassified. Uh, GI Joe classified unboxing, and this is Heavy Artillery Roadblock, or as I like to call him, what Roadblock probably should have looked like in the first place. Now, don't get me wrong, I liked the first Roadblock figure, but it was more based on the 1986 version of Roadblock, and I kind of feel like they probably should have started with the original one from 1984. So, and then done the 86 one later. And then they did a third version of Roadblock, which was the Assault on Cobra Island one. I don't have that one yet, but I might wind up ordering off the Target because it looks like it's on sale there. So I might be able to get one pretty cheap. I wish I could get this guy more cheaply because he looks like he's got a lot of stuff that would be good for customs, like the helmet and the web gear and everything like that. But I think he was an exclusive to either Hasbro Pulse or Amazon, and I missed out on the pre-order for him, so that means I wound up having to pay a little bit more for him than retail. And it wasn't as bad as, like, the Beachhead figure when it got up to, like, almost $300, but it was still, much more than 20. Like double that. Thankfully, since I do a lot of things online where I earn Amazon gift cards, like surveys and things like that, uh, Bing rewards and stuff like that, uh, I basically got him for free. But I had to scrape up like $40 worth of gift cards. Anyway, I kind of cheated with this one because there actually was another box, which was this mailer box that he was sealed up in. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to do a thumbnail where I was all excited about a blank cardboard box. So I went ahead and opened that part up. Figured I'd spare you the boredom. Uh, so let's have a look at the artwork on the package. And it's got like this really nice picture of Roadblock here with his minigun. It is a minigun and not the Browning that is the more famous Roadblock weapon. But at least it's not like a pair of like glowing salad tongs. So I'll be happy with what I got. So, and I believe that this picture on the side is actually the same picture again, only they flipped it, which I noticed because when I see it on the camera, everything's flipped around. So right now I'm looking at it on the front of the box at the same time that I'm looking at it in the camera. And I might not have noticed if not for the fact that I was doing that. I'm pretty sure it's the same exact picture. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. Alright, so, and then the back has the now famous picture of pretty much every G.I. Joe character in the line. At the time of this recording, we've just found out that they're going to release a bunch of new figures, including a classic Storm Shadow, which looks awesome. And I'm excited about that because Storm Shadow is my absolute favorite character. We've got Spirit coming on the way, which I've already pre-ordered from Amazon because I don't want to have to pay a premium for them later on. And same with Tiger Force Outback. Hopefully that means we get a regular repaint of Outback sometime down the line, because I don't want to have to buy two of these Target exclusives so I can repaint one as a custom. Hell, do a Night Force one too, because that Night Force color scheme is killer. We got a Cobra Officer coming out, and we've got an Alley Viper, which that was the thing that made me think about this, because there's been Alley Vipers on the back of the classified packages since the beginning. So I've always been like, I'm sure they're planning on doing Alley Vipers because they're on the package. And finally, we're getting Alley Vipers, so that makes me happy. So if you like troop builders, there's a lot of good troop builders there. I haven't gotten any troop builders in this line yet, just because everything's so hard to find and expensive. So when you do find it, so I don't have any Cobra Troopers, I don't have any Vipers, but hopefully that's going to change soon, because hopefully they're going to become a little more easy to find. So I slit the tape with my handy-dandy X-Acto knife, and I freed Roadblock from his plastic prison, and we can get a better look at him without the reflections, and I think he's a pretty impressive figure. If there's one thing I would have done differently on him that I can tell already, is that I kind of feel like the two colors of green that they used for his camouflage on his tank top, they're a little too close. So it almost winds up looking like a plain olive drab tank top. But, like, you know, I probably would have went with a lighter and a darker green. Maybe more of like a Lincoln green for that, the darker parts, and more of a, I don't want to say lime green, but, you know, maybe something a little lighter than that. Something where you got a little more contrast. So I'm going to take his accessories out. And the first accessory is this badass looking automatic pistol. This thing is huge. It's like way bigger than the previous G.I. Joe sidearms, which since I got Beachhead handy, I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Look at this thing. I can almost fit Beachhead's gun inside Roadblock's gun. That's how much bigger Roadblock's gun is. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to make it. It's a gigantic gun. Poor Beachhead. Don't feel inadequate. You're still a nice figure. So okay, so we got that giant pistol, and then this ammo drum, which I believe will attach to the minigun. So that way we don't have like ammo belts and everything all tangled around him. And there's the minigun itself. Why do they call it a minigun anyway? It's freaking huge! They should call it a freaking huge gun! And they did a really nice job with this, and one of the details that I wasn't really expecting is usually when any toy makes a minigun, like the barrels they wind up making is like one solid piece because it's cheaper that way, so they just have them all in the mold. But you can see here space between the barrels. So these barrels are actually separate pieces. I don't know if they were like still the same mold or not. Maybe two molds put together. But yeah, they actually put the effort into, instead of making this one solid thing, making it more realistic. And it does turn, so that's nice. Is there a knob or something that turns it? Or do you just have to turn the barrel manually? I think you just have to turn the barrel manually. I don't see a knob or anything that does it. But it's still pretty cool that it does that. The front of it looks nice. You can see the holes in the barrels, which is one of the things I generally like about classified weapons, is a lot of times they actually do bother to put the holes in the barrels. So that's really cool. I don't know if this is based on any real-world handgun. It looks kind of slightly like a Desert Eagle, as I remember a Desert Eagle, but it doesn't have the swoop on the trigger guard. You know what I'm talking about? How it kind of swoops outward. It doesn't have that, but other than that, it looks kind of like, it's definitely the size of a Desert Eagle, because it's huge. I'm not like a huge gun guy. Like my dad is a gun expert, and he can tell you everything about guns. But unfortunately, I never picked up on all of that because I was too busy reading comic books or whatever. But anybody out there who is watching and is a gun expert, like, you can please like take a close look at this gun and let me know if you think that's based on any real world gun, or if I'm right and it's a just kind of slightly modified Desert Eagle. So yeah, the ammo drum. Let's see here. It looks like there's only one way this can go on because of the way that the thing is sculpted. But there's this tab that slides into this slot. So we'll just put that together real quick. Shasha. And then we've got Roadblock's assembled minigun, which is a beautiful thing to behold. And like the Browning Ma Deuce that Roadblock came with in the original one, this is one that I can only see being Roadblock's weapon. It's so huge. Like, maybe Rock and Roll could handle this thing, because he's also a big guy and a machine gunner by trade. But yeah, that's definitely an impressive looking weapon. While I do wish that it had been the iconic Maudus. Not gonna lie. I'm not disappointed in this weapon. I like it very much. And it definitely beats the salad tongs that the first ones came with. So, alright, so let's get Roadblock himself out of the package. And as usual with classifieds, something I'm always grateful for is there are no hideous rubber bands or plastic tabs holding them in the package. And we might as well go ahead and real quick look at the interior piece, this insert, which we've seen before, I think. I think that's a pretty standard one, but just so we can see it. Excuse me one moment. I'm going to do something that I probably should have done already. I'm just going to step over here to where I'm keeping my classifieds, and I'm going to dig out their first Roadblock so we can have a look at that. But I'll be right back. Don't worry. Alright. So here's Roadblock number 1 with his strange salad tong weapon. And the handles at the top and the bottom. And another one down here, which I'm pretty sure is where he's supposed to grip it, because there's definitely a trigger there. But it's really hard to get his hand wrapped around it, so I wind up just having him hold it like this, and it looks fine. It's got an ammo clip in there, even though it's like apparently some kind of ray gun or something. I don't know. This is just a strange weapon, and I was never particularly happy with it. And in fact, my plan was to buy from the old Coleco Rambo line, one of their Mauduses, because that scales pretty well with this, from what I understand. So mainly I just wanted to compare and see what parts that these guys share. And apparently the legs look the same. They both have the pocket on the front and the pocket on the side. The boots look the same. They have the same shin armor, only, the version 1 Roadblock, of course, is the red and gold that was very prominent on that wave of figures, and this one is a much more muted olive drab over black boots. He's colored pretty much exactly like the original Roadblock figure. It's that same color scheme. I'm going to compare the head sculpts. So it looks like they've changed Roadblock's head sculpt. Not just by taking off the beard, but, like, the face itself is different. Let's have a look. Maybe I can get them both in there. You can see, like, this version of Roadblock is a little more boyish looking, and this one's a little meaner looking. The cheeks are a little more, the cheekbones, I should say, are a little more prominent, and he's got, like, a slightly angrier expression on his face. And, they did something really nice here, which I can actually see on the camera better than I can see in real life just because of the lighting. But you can see they actually have his mouth slightly open and just a couple of teeth sculpted in there. It's like, it's not like that kind of face, but it's, like that kind of face. It's like a subtle thing, and that is good attention to detail. So, while I was pretty happy with this head sculpt of Roadblock, and I'm like, yeah, that looks like Roadblock, sure. I'm fine with that. This one blows it out of the water. This is Roadblock, as far as I'm concerned. This is double blast. So that'll explain its salad tongs, because both of those things blast, so he's double blast now. People who were around in 2000, they'll get my reference. So the articulation is the same. Like I pointed out with the pants, he does share a lot of parts with the first Roadblock, namely the arms and legs. The torso is different, obviously, because they gave him the tank top rather than this one underneath has a bare chest. Is it a bare chest or is it a t-shirt? I forget. It's a bare chest. But yeah, the detail on this tank top is surprisingly good. Like, I kind of figured they'd just sculpt a tank top on there, put some wrinkles in the fabric and whatnot, like the wrinkles in the fabric you normally get in a shirt. But no, they actually went the extra mile, and I don't even know if this is going to be visible on camera or not, but they have sculpted in, like, a texture. You can kind of see it here if you look at his pecs. Like, there's a texture to it that looks like fabric. And I figure a lot of this stuff, there's texture on his pants that look like fabric, but I wasn't expecting it from the shirt. And it's two completely different kinds of texture. So the pants is more like a canvasy kind of material, and the shirt is more of a, cotton blend kind of material. I'm guessing a lot of this is because of, advances in digital technology. So even if they do sculpt a figure by hand these days, they could probably go in with a computer and add some more details to it. So, but man, he's a great looking figure, isn't he? Like, yeah, that's what Roadblock should have been from the beginning. And like, you saw he had the helmet in the package, and he looks fine with the helmet. I'm gonna put the helmet back on him so you can get a look at him with the helmet. He looks fine with the helmet. It's a decent enough helmet. It's like a kind of like a cross between like the Fritz type helmet and the half shell helmet. That's like a more modern thing. Like if you order it from Marauder Gunrunners, the helmet that looks most like this is called a half shell helmet, but it's got kind of more of like the coverage of the ears, like a Fritz helmet would. If you took that ear covering off, this would look pretty much exactly like a scaled up version of Marauder's half shell helmet. But I prefer him without the helmet. We usually saw Roadblock without the helmet anyway. Like, even on the action figure package, like, they showed him without the helmet. So it's like, some characters don't look complete without their helmet. Like, Grunt has to have a helmet. But, even though they came with helmets, I kind of feel like Roadblock and Duke don't necessarily have to have them. So, let's go ahead and see if we can get this huge gun into this holster. And that's going to probably take a little bit of doing, so it looks like in the package, the holster got kind of collapsed in on itself. And I could probably fix that with a hairdryer, but I don't have the time or inclination to do that right now, so I'm just going to jam his huge pistol into this tight holster. There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm not going to make it. So, there we go. It fits in there rather snugly. And when I say rather snugly, I mean I can do this. Man, he is an awesome looking figure. Look at him. Look how cool he is. Like, he's a beast. He is intimidating. If I was Cobra and I saw this guy on the battlefield, I would turn and run the other way. And when I say Cobra, I don't mean like an individual Cobra trooper or like Zartan or somebody like that. I mean like the entire Cobra army should just be like, I give up. I'm not going up against that guy. He's a monster. So, this is a beautiful representation of one of my favorite G.I. Joe characters. He might be second only to Storm Shadow, who is my absolute favorite. But Roadblock is a close second. And Roadblock beat up Storm Shadow once in the comic book. And if you look at this action figure, you'd be like, yeah, that's a guy who could beat up Storm Shadow. That's a guy that Storm Shadow would see him and be like, oh shit, I should have worn white pants today. This is not a family show. Alright, so let's go ahead and put his minigun in his hand. And unfortunately, that's going to be like a little bit of work because, like most of these classified figures, his hand's going to have a tight grip, and the plastic is a little more stiff, not quite as pliable as I like the hands to be personally. And again, this is probably something like I could probably do it more easily if I hit it with a hairdryer, but I just don't feel like fooling with it right now. So then we've got that's how the hand looks gripping the gun. And of course, I'm not going to have even a guy like Roadblock isn't going to be able to like run around like holding this thing like a pistol. And you can see the gun is so heavy it's taking his arm down. But that's okay. That's why they put this other handle at the top here. So he can hold it more like the way a person actually holds a minigun. And again, much like with the grip over there, I'm gonna have to work with the hand a little bit to get it on there. And this is a much more spindly sort of handle, as it should be, but it's still thick enough that I can't very easily fit it into the hand without actually prying the hand open. But I got it in there now. Oh, I got it in there now. And let me see if I can get an extreme angle on this thing. Wow, look at that. How cool is that? Oh, he looks totally badass. Remember when they made G.I. Joe Retaliation and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, was playing Roadblock? And I was pretty excited about that because I've always been a big fan of The Rock. And like I said, Roadblock's been one of my favorite characters, from the beginning. Always thought he was awesome. And The Rock described Roadblock as a BAMF, which is an acronym. And I'll let you figure out what those initials stand for. But this figure is definitely a BAMF. Like I said, Cobra would just turn and run when they saw this guy on the battlefield. They'd be like, nope, we're done. We're done. But I gave you his tanks and fangs and Cobra claws. And, no. We're done. Sorry, boss man. Look, he's holding that thing like it's a rifle. No, I'm not dealing with this. This. You don't pay us enough. You give us all the blue jumpsuits we can wear, but at the end of the day, it's it don't matter when it's full of bullet holes, and once he runs out of bullets, he's just gonna start beating us with that thing like a club. Man, okay. So as I said at the beginning, I paid a premium for this guy. Let's put the helmet on him so we get the full effect. We got everything that comes with the guy. And like I said, I'm probably not going to keep this helmet on him. I like him better without the helmet, but just so we can get a look at it. All right. So like I said at the beginning, I paid a premium for this figure. I paid more than retail for him, and I wish I hadn't had to pay more than retail because I'm cheap. But but at the end of the day, I think he was worth it. He was worth me paying a little bit of extra money. I'm really happy to have this in my collection. This might be the best of the G.I. Joe classified figures that I've gotten so far. So Roadblock is an absolute recommend. Obviously, if you can manage to snag him for retail price, do so. And honestly, I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility at this point that we might see a Tiger Force repaint. If you don't mind him having yellow stripes on his pants, since they did Tiger Force Outback, they might do Tiger Force Roadblock too. So that'll be a way for some of the people who missed out to get this great sculpt, which is definitive. This is probably now my favorite Roadblock figure. So, and it's hard to say that for characters that are like the 6-inch characters, because for me 3 3/4 inch is always kind of like the definitive G.I. Joe scale. But no, they knocked it out of the park with this one, and they deserve the accolades. So that's pretty much it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and all the fun stuff below. Tell me about Roadblock. What do you think about the character? What do you think about the various action figures of him? Do you think that this is as awesome as I think it is? What Roadblock figure is your favorite figure? What did you think of Dwayne Johnson in the role? Anything like that, let me know in the comments. I want to hear what you think. And but that's pretty much it for me for now, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.